There's a specific kind of exhausted you feel after talking to one particular person. Not tired the way a hard day makes you tired, but tired the way arguing with a wall makes you tired. You didn't lift anything. You didn't run anywhere. But your shoulders are up around your ears, and you're replaying the conversation 4 hours later, editing your own sentences in your head, trying to win a fight that already ended. You felt this. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's a parent, an ex, a friend who somehow makes every conversation about them. And if you're like most people, you've been told the fix is simple. Stand your ground. Say what you mean. Don't let them walk over you. Here's the problem. That advice is exactly what keeps you stuck. Most people think dealing with a toxic person means winning the argument, landing the perfect comeback, finally making them see reason, getting the apology you're owed. But here's what nobody tells you. The moment you engage on their terms, you've already lost, regardless of what you say next. Arguing with a toxic person isn't a contest you can win. It's a game you can only stop playing. In 2011, psychologist Craig Malkin, who spent years studying narcissism at Harvard Medical School, found something counterintuitive. Confronting a highly narcissistic or manipulative person directly tends to increase their defensive aggression rather than produce insight. The more clearly you point out what they're doing, the harder they dig in. Being right is not the same as being effective. Psychologists have a name for the trap you keep falling into: reactive engagement. The automatic pull to respond to provocation with more information, more evidence, more explaining, as if the right words will finally land. Toxic dynamics aren't sustained by bad arguments. They're sustained by your participation in the argument at all. You don't have a communication problem. You have a reactive engagement problem, and that can be unlearned. Psychologist and author Daniel Goleman gave this reflex a name too: the amygdala hijack. The moment the brain's threat center overrides the part of you that plans and reasons, so you're reacting to a provocation before you've actually decided to. It's not a character flaw. It's a few hundred milliseconds where your biology outran your judgment. Think back to how disagreement worked in your house growing up. Maybe raised voices meant someone was about to lose control, and the only way to stay safe was to explain yourself fast enough, clearly enough, convincingly enough that the storm would pass. Maybe you learned that silence was dangerous, that if you didn't defend yourself the moment you were accused of something, the accusation became true by default. So you built a reflex. Someone criticizes you unfairly, and before you've even decided to, you're already responding, already gathering the evidence, already rehearsing the rebuttal. It doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like survival. Here's the cruel irony. Every time you engage, you teach the toxic person that provoking you works. You're not talking them out of the behavior. You're reinforcing it, training them, one heated exchange at a time. That pushing your buttons gets a reaction, and a reaction is attention, and attention is fuel. The very effort you're putting into defending yourself is what keeps the cycle running. So the fix cannot be a better argument. 1. They set the emotional temperature. You set the response time. Picture the text that's designed to provoke, the backhanded comment, the guilt trip disguised as a question. The instinct is to reply in the next 60 seconds. A pause of even a few minutes lets the nervous system's threat response settle enough for the prefrontal cortex, the part that plans rather than reacts, to come back online. The cost: it will feel, in the moment, like losing. It isn't. It's the first move that isn't theirs. 2. They ask a question. You don't have to answer the question underneath it. Must be nice to just skip the meeting. Sounds like a question, but it's a trap with a question mark on it. Smart people learn to answer only the literal words, not the implied accusation. It was on the calendar, full stop. No defense, no explanation, no bait taken. The caveat: this feels rude the first few times you do it. It isn't rude. It's just no longer available. 3. They want a reaction. You give them information instead. That's an interesting way to see it. Costs you nothing and gives them nothing to escalate against. Flat, low-effect responses starve the interaction of the emotional charge that toxic dynamics run on. It won't feel satisfying. That's the honest downside. Satisfaction was never the goal. Disengagement was. 4. they rewrite the story. You stop trying to correct the record in real time. You will not win the version of events in the room, in the moment, while they're escalating. Save your energy for later. A calm follow-up message, a private note to yourself, a conversation with someone who wasn't there and doesn't need convincing. The cost, it feels like letting them get away with it. What you're actually doing is refusing to argue on a stage they built. 5. They push for a decision under pressure. You hold the boundary of time. "I'm not deciding this right now" is a full sentence. Toxic dynamics thrive on urgency because urgency skips your judgment and goes straight to your fear. Psychologist Roy Baumeister's research on decision fatigue found that judgment quality drops the more pressured and depleted a person is when they're forced to choose, which is exactly the state a toxic dynamic is trying to put you in. Buying yourself even a day changes the entire negotiation. The caveat: they will push back hard on this one specifically because it's the one that works. 6. They test the boundary once. You enforce it the same way every time. Consistency is what makes a boundary real instead of a suggestion. The first time you let the exception slide, just this once, you've taught them the boundary is negotiable. The cost is real. Enforcing it consistently sometimes means a harder, colder moment than you'd like. That's the price of it holding. 7. They want closeness on their terms. You decide your own level of access. Not every toxic person needs to be cut off completely, but almost all of them need less access than they currently have. Less detail shared, less advance notice, less of your actual inner life. The honest caveat here: this often looks like distance to everyone else, including them, and they will notice and comment on it. Carl Jung wrote about the necessity of encountering your own shadow rather than fighting it in other people. The people who unsettle you most, he argued, are often reflecting something you haven't made peace with in yourself, which is exactly why arguing with them never resolves anything. You're not fighting them. You're fighting a mirror. You were never obligated to win the argument. You were only ever obligated to stop having it. You are not weak for walking away from a fight you could technically win. That was never weakness. That was you finally recognizing which game was actually being played. So, which one of these 7 do you actually struggle to do? Is it the pause? Or is it the boundary? If someone in your life is still fighting the same argument on repeat with the same person every single day, send them this. They need the reminder that they're allowed to stop. See you in the next one.